Good evening and welcome back again to Concerned Citizens Media. And I have uh, news, global news and domestic news, plus a statement released by uh, United Muslim Oromos of North America concerning the human rights violation in Ethiopia. So I have this for tonight. Let's start with the news. Domestic news. Trump to expand sweeping immigration restriction targeting work visas in the new order. The Trump administration on Monday, June 22, 2020, announced it will suspend certain visas that allow foreigners to move to the United States temporarily to work, saying the broad restriction will ease the economic impact of the coronavirus and improve the prospect of Americans looking for employment during the pandemic. Several guest workers programs will be halted starting Wednesday, June 24, 2020, under a proclamation signed by President Trump that will add another layer of sweeping restriction to an immigration system the administration worked to overhaul both during and before the pandemic. The order, which is stated to last until the end of the year, will suspend H-1B visas for those in specialized fields like the technology sector, and most H-2B visas for non-agriculture seasonal workers. The other programs that will be restricted are cultural exchange J-1 visas for EU pairs and other short-term workers, visas for spouses of H-1B and H-2B holders, and L visas for companies to relocate employees to the United States. Details on these issues can be found at www.cbsnews.com. The first African American female engineer honored at NASA. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, known by its acronym NASA or NASA, announced on Wednesday, June 24, 2020, that it would name its headquarters in Washington, D.C. after Mary Jackson, the organization's first black female engineer and a pivotal player in helping United States astronauts reach space. Jim Bridenstine, the NASA administrator, said agency will continue to honor those whose histories have long been overlooked. Mary is one of many incredible and talented professionals in NASA's history who contributed to this agency's success, Jim added. Caroline Lewis, Mrs. Jackson's daughter, said she felt honored to see NASA continue to celebrate her mother's legacy. She was a scientist, humanitarian, wife, mother, and trailblazer. who paved the way for thousands of others to succeed not only at NASA but throughout this nation, Ms. Lewis said in her statement. Ms. Jackson began working at NASA in 1951 as the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, became the agency's first black female engineer in 1958, retired in 1985 after serving for 34 years, and she died in the year 2005. The nation is beginning to awaken to the greater need to honor the full diversity of people who helped pioneer our great nation. Mr. Breinstein, NASA administration, added in his Ms. Jackson's recognition statement. The Supreme Court hands Trump administration win on deportation powers. This ruling means the Trump administration can deport some people seeking asylum without allowing them to make their case to a federal judge. The 7-2 ruling applies to those who fail their initial asylum screenings, making them eligible for quick deportation. The case, Department of Homeland Security versus Taurisia, a Sri Lankan immigrant who was captured within 25 yards of the border without documentation in 2017. Now, he and the others apprehended at the border can be deported immediately regardless of their asylum claims. Credit for this news, CNN, Washington Post, and the New York Times. Global news. Iran explosion. Large blast seen near military base outside Tehran. Local news outlets showed a bright light flaring out across the sky over the city early on Friday, June 26, 2020, followed by a large plume of smoke. Iran Defense Ministry spokesman Dawood Abdi told State TV the blast happened at a gas storage facility in a public area of Parching rather than the military base. The fire had been put out and no casualties reported, but gave no details about the cause of the blast. Our colleagues are present on the ground and investigating the incident carefully, Abdi added. Credit theguardiannews.com. Arab Western states pledged $1.5 billion for Sudan at donor event. The United Nations Donor Conference hosted by Germany to help Sudan ease an economic crisis hampering its transition toward democracy after the fall of President Omar al-Bashir. On Thursday, European Union pledged €312 or $350 million, Germany €150 million or $168 million, France $112 million, UK $186 million, United Arab Emirates pledged $300 million, and the United States pledged $356 million. This money would be used for various specific projects, such as for cash transfer to poor families with the help of the World Bank. Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok is desperate for more foreign support. He warned that without foreign aid, instability could spread throughout a volatile region in East and Northeastern Africa, and disaffected young people would keep migrating by sea to Europe. Any transition is very messy, and there are so many challenges, he said. Credit Al Jazeera News Agency. United Nations Security Council held virtual conference on Wednesday, June 24, 2020, to discuss Middle East Israel plan of annexation of West Bank and other issues. In their opening statement, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres and his United Nations Special Coordinator Nikolay Mladenov strongly warned Israel government from carrying out the planned annexation of the West Bank. Both personnel alarmed that carrying out this plan unilaterally would have very serious consequences for the Middle East peace and beyond. There are oppositions against this annexation plan within Israel communities, European Union, and the surrounding Arab countries. They called on the international community to work together so that the two states negotiated settlement would be achievable between Palestinians and Israelis. We are at watershed moment, Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, warned the UN virtual conference attendees. If this annexation plan is implemented by Israeli authority, it would constitute the violation of international law, and it harms the prospects of the two-state solution, and called on Israeli authority to abandon it for the sake of regional and global peace and stability. Source for this news, United Nations Security Council Conference, June 24, 2020. That's all I have for tonight's news from Concerned Citizens Media. Now I go to the statement released by United Muslim Oromos of North America concerning the human rights violations, especially on targeting Oromos. And the statement was released in Afan Oromo, but I translated it into English to present for Concerned Citizens Media and for you audience. United Muslim Oromos of North America released strong statement and warning on the human rights violation on Oromos on their own land by the current Ethiopian government led by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. This statement was released at the presence of strong Muslim community leadership at Tawfiq Mosque, the biggest mosque in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The United Muslim Oromos of North America started their statement by expressing their displeasure with the reform processes in Ethiopia, especially in the Oromia. According to the organizers, this statement is intended to be the voice for voiceless Oromos that have been humiliated and victimized under Dr. Abiy Ahmed's administration. The human rights violations mentioned in their press release or statement include the following. These statements or the violation, they say, is all based with enough evidence. 1. Displacing Oromos from their homes and farmlands. 2. Intimidating and threatening Oromos who exercise their rights to support and join the opposition political parties, which is not a crime under promised current reform process. 3. Burned down Oromos' houses and their natural resources, forests, and their domestic live animals under the pretext of fighting the armed groups. 4. Killings of Oromos on such political view differences and leaving their bodies for wild animals on the field. The report mentioned Mr. Muhammad Amin Sraj, an educated and government employee who was taken by security forces, killed and thrown on the field, and his ruined body was found after ruined by wild animals like hyena. Another example they gave, mother of 3 children was also killed by government forces. 2 Oromo youths were taken from their home and found killed in jail in Addis Ababa after they have taken from the rural residential area. They took them to central prison and they were found dead over there, the capital city of Addis Ababa. An 80 years and 63 years old husband and wife, both Oromos, killed by Ethiopian Defense Force after the parents were unable to bring their son as demanded by Ethiopian Defense Force. 5. Shutting down of internet, phone service, cutting of water and electric service, and lying and denying about them on the media. 6. Illegal command post which has been declared by Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, spread all over Oromia regions and terrorizing our people every day. It makes their day-to-day lives extremely difficult. Detention, arbitrary mass arrests of Oromo, torture, killings, and raping of our women were reported by residents living under the command post. 7. Those who committed these hideous crimes against our people are let free and with no accountabilities at all. All these cruel and inhumane treatment of our people are intended to force them to surrender to the Prosperity Party and its ideology, which is established by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. These strategies are illegal and against international human rights protection. So, the United Muslim Oromos of North America calls upon the ruling party of Ethiopia and Dr. Abiy Ahmed to seriously consider and carry out the following major demands. 1. Remove the illegal command posts from all Oromia regions and put them in the military camps so that our people can conduct their daily activities and live peacefully on their land. Second, bring those military personnel, special security forces, the police, local militia, the Prosperity Party members that commit atrocities against Oromos on their own land to justice. Make them accountable for all the crimes they carried out against our women, youngsters, the elderly, and other Oromos. 3. The United Muslim Oromos of North America calls for the establishment of independent truth-finding body so that all the crimes committed against our people will clearly investigated in details. Their organization is also offering to be part of this investigation body or committee. 4. The United Muslim Oromos of North America calls upon Dr. Abiy Ahmed and his administration to stop immediately the campaign of pressure, harassment, and intimidation against the largest Ethiopian ethnic group, or Oromos, and leave them alone so that they can use their natural resources effectively and without fear. 5. The United Muslim Oromos of North America strongly opposes all the crimes carried out against our people and express our deepest condolences to those Oromos killed and in the hands of Dr. Abiy Ahmed security forces. 6. We are part and parcel of Kare, Oromo businessmen, Oromo religious leaders, Oromo farmers, Oromo fathers, Oromo mothers, and others. We will not sit idle and watch the continuation of atrocities carried out on them by current ruling party in Ethiopia. We will do everything to free our people from these grave human rights violations. 7. In conclusion, the United Muslim Oromos of North America again strongly calls upon the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, to stop all the above stated human rights violations from our peace-loving and welcoming people, and let them live their lives in peace with dignity and respect. We are also strongly warn Dr. Abiy Ahmed and his administration that whoever carries out further violation against our people or Oromos in Ethiopia will be accountable in the court of laws in future. Implementing all the above stated demands, restoring the promised reforms, allowing the victims to continue their healing process instead of subjecting them to further unnecessary sufferings, and letting our people to live freely will prevent Ethiopia from heading into the wrong direction and disintegration. Dr. Abiy Ahmed, you are also strongly advised to hold on the truth, on the trust and the admiration given to you by millions and millions of Oromo at home and in the global community. The United Muslim Oromos of North America, June 20, 2020, 2400 Menahan Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55404, USA. So this is a statement released by United Muslim Oromos of North America. It is really painful to hear all these human rights violations against the Oromos, peace-loving Oromos, and really shameful. This was not expected from Dr. Abiy Ahmed. He was uh, he was welcomed. He was celebrated at the beginning of the revolution. You know, he was trusted, and here you go again. And the thing is, we are familiar in the previous TPLF administration. Now we are witnessing under our new Messiah, you know. And this guy is a nice speaker. The speeches are nice. Honey is coming from his mouth, but the actions we are witnessing, they are very bad. Oromos are specifically targeted, and they are threatened by special security forces, military, local militia, and the old OPDO leadership. So it seems there is no responsibility. It seems like he gave, you know, the order to do whatever they want to do against the Oromos. Just no responsibility, and people are jailed, and they can take them anywhere. Families and their lawyers, they cannot even find them, and they can move them around. This is a grave violation of human rights, and this guy claimed he claimed at the beginning to protect the human rights violations and to stop all the violations we observed under the 27 years of TPLF dominated Ethiopia. But so he is changed. I hope this change will be shorter and the suffering will be stopped temporarily. I just, you know, concerned citizens media will be praying for peaceful transition, and we don't want creating Ethiopia by killing one group uh, of people, targeting people, intimidating people, and this is shame to hear again. And this report is a confirmation of the previous Amnesty International report we all know, we all heard of, and nowadays just the security forces are given a free hand, just even kill people at the public's meeting. Last time concerned citizens media reported one meeting attendee was shut down in front of shot and killed in front of the attendees because his phone was rang accidentally. This is a new Ethiopia. This is a new reality, and all Oromos and all Ethiopians should be aware of these things, and they have to get up and fight for their right before too late, before dangerous dictatorship will be established in Ethiopia. That's all I have, and I hope I will not report further killings I hope the report will be different next time. We just have to pray, and we have to get ready to demand change, to stop raping, to stop destroying properties, jailing people for their political view, you know. And we just pray, and we have to get ready for a better future. Finally, I will leave you with a music. It is similar with Bob Marley, "Get Up, Get Up, Fight for Your Right," something like that. But this time it is in Afan Oromo. Just listen to it and entertain yourself. Good night, everyone. Until next time. Bye bye. Concerned Citizens Media. Okay, thank you for listening to Concerned Citizens Media. That's all I have for tonight. Until next time, so long, everyone.